a coach and counselor, and today I'm going to give a short presentation how coaching can help female entrepreneurs to achieve their goals. So shortly about me, my name is Olga Weih. I'm half Dutch, half Russian. I live in the Netherlands for 10 years. I'm a certified coach and counselor, and almost all my professional life I had a career in logistics in international companies, but at some point, I guess I got a middle-age crisis and I realized I want to do something else and something that I'm passionate about. And I was at a hobby in psychology, so I was contemplating how I can combine my expertise and my professional experience. So I decided to become a coach to help people to achieve their dream goals. And my passion is helping people to become the best version of themselves and to see my clients' personal transformation. So in coaching, I work a lot with the mindset, with our beliefs and so-called limiting beliefs, and that's how we call them in psychology. So basically, those are the thoughts that we think about ourselves and the world. And these thoughts, sometimes they can be very helpful, but sometimes they can limit us from achieving our goals. And for instance, if I think that honest people are good people, this is a good thought, and I will just leave it as the way it is. But some thoughts, like for instance, what I was thinking that I cannot become an entrepreneur, because it's not for me. I will not be able to deal with that. I'm not good in it. But then by working with my own coach, I realized that we challenged this thought, and I realized it's not my thoughts. It's coming from someone else. Probably it's an inherited thought from family. And then I just overcame it, and I became a coach and counselor, and I started my own business, and I have my practice already for 2.5 years. So now I'm helping people to grow and show by my example that everything is possible. Sorry, I'm looking at the presentation on my phone, which is turning on. So when we start our own business, we want freedom, we want success, we want money, but in the reality, sometimes also as a women, we face a lot of problems. We have a lot of fears, and sometimes we have a lot of pressure, and we don't know how to start. We don't know. We have a lot of uncertainty, and we also have a lot of stress. And we have to work 24/7. The balanced work life is just not working. And a lot of those stressors, they're coming from the outside, how to find fundings, how to advertise ourselves, where to find customers, and whether it will work for us or not. But a lot of stressors, a lot of stress factors we put on ourselves. And that's coming from the inside. And as a counselor, I also work a lot with stress. And my personal story was that I experienced a burnout. It was pretty bad. It happened a few years ago, and I was so scared that I thought I would never recover from it. But then I started studying stress management, and I realized that basically the stress levels, it just goes like this, like a curve. And acute stress is not that bad. It can actually help us to, it gives us this extra push, extra motivation. But if stress becomes chronic, then at some point when it just reaches this point and then the curve goes down, our body just becomes overstrained, and then basically nothing can help, and we cannot get rest, and we really need the professional help and sometimes medication. So we don't want to get there. And my role as a counselor, I'm helping people to just stop here and be able to take timely actions, because it's much easier to reduce anxiety and stress on time and prevent the painful consequences of a burnout. So coaching, what is it and why is it different from psychology and psychotherapy? So the main difference is that psychotherapy and psychology, they're focused on the past with looking at the roots of the problem, analyzing like what happened, why it happened. And it's great, but in fact, in the modern world, sometimes we just don't have these years and years to spend in therapy. And coaching has proven that it's actually working in a relatively short pace. So basically, like pretty much any request can be worked out in average time frame of 3 months. And it uses the most effective techniques of psychology and such as cognitive psychology, positive psychology, transactional analysis, because not all of the techniques, psychological techniques, are really working, especially in a short time frame. So basically, coaching helps you to get from point A, where you're right now, to get to the point B, where you want to get. And it assumes that you already have everything to be able to move forward. So that's why coach is not a guru, is not a person that knows for you better, because in fact, no one knows better than us. So coach just facilitates your growth and helps you to understand what is your unique particular way to achieve your goal. And that's why I say that in my practice, I give my clients 2 tools, a mirror to increase the awareness, and a lantern to just see where they need to go. The result of coaching is that by formulating your goal, really the goal that is really yours, not something that society tells you or what your parents wanted you to do or your partners or family members, by reflecting and analyzing what you actually want and what is your unique plan. We just work on a lot of those limiting beliefs on your thoughts, and by changing the thoughts, we change your life and the reality you are living in. And by the end of the coaching process, you get a steps how to move forward and how to achieve your goal. And mostly people, they don't come in coaching with some vague ideas to just improve their performance or something, but mostly they want something concrete, like to increase the income by 50%, or to start up the business, to figure out the development strategy, to prevent the burnout. Then that's a big one now, because people just face a lot of stress with the reality we're living in. So why coaching? It has been proven that coaching actually it came from sports, and it turned out that the techniques that athletes are using for top performances can be also used in business and in a personal life. And that's why a lot of business women and men and leaders, they're using coaches to help them to facilitate their journey towards their goal. So as I mentioned, it gives great results in a relatively short time, and it works with a mindset, and it transforms the obstacles that you're facing into new opportunities and to the growing plan, and in the end brings you to the result that you want. And the approach that I have, I would say it's pretty structured and analytical. I don't like just to talk, just to have this chatty awake talks. Sometimes I can be confronting, and for me it's important that my clients, they move forward instead of just being stuck in the past. So I make together with my clients, I make customized plans, because we're all different, and what works for one person might not need for another person. So some people, they just like to have chats, and those are not just chats, but they are structured talks. But sometimes you can just use some visualization or even drawing. So it really depends per person. And of course, I'm giving my clients an atmosphere of safety and confidentiality. So I'm not allowed to share any information, any personal information. And we're signing an agreement before we start the sessions. So, and a lot of people asking, like, who needs coaching? Why do I need that? So I would say that mostly like result-oriented people need coaching. People that are willing to work and take responsibility, to take actions now, and not seeking for just someone that is going to come over and fix their issues. So these people are willing to work. And I think the most important is that you need to believe that everything is possible and you can achieve any goal that you want. You just sometimes probably need the help, and it's much easier to go together with a person that can be there for you and help you to figure out what is your own path.
one of the first words that you've mentioned is mindset. And of course, that's also the word that I like to use when I'm talking about entrepreneurial mindset. So, tricky question just for us to discuss. Do you think coaching could help build entrepreneurial mindset? Or do you already have to have it in you and coaching will just, help you realize that you have it?
I think it really it's a great question actually, but I think it really depends on what you want. I mean, if you want to start up your business, you will have to build an entrepreneur mindset, but then you need to have this desire inside, and you cannot really push yourself. I mean, if it's yours, it will come.
What I've noticed, of course, is especially for women that's more prominent, the fear of starting, right? We can have the desire to do something, but then we doubt ourselves. We have this fear inside of us. Well, maybe we cannot do this. We're not good enough. We're not smart enough, whatever. So can coaching do something to like help you overcome that fear of getting started in something new?
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's the biggest thing, that when we start something, we have all these fears. And mostly when you start challenging them and analyzing them, most of these fears, they are not actually what you think about the situation, but it's something that you heard, maybe someone told you. And, there are a lot of not successful stories, right? When people start and it didn't work. So you start thinking that maybe that's something that is going to happen to me. And actually in coaching, yeah, you just discover what you want, and these fears, they just slowly start disappearing the more actions you take. Because what I say, we don't, sometimes you're waiting for some knowledge, like I want to know and then I'm going to start, and that's why you're procrastinating. But there is no such a thing as knowledge, there is action. So by slowly removing the fears, you start acting, and then you realize, just it was not there.
Exactly. Another question. So what I've noticed as well, and I'm wondering if you have an opinion about this that's different from mine. Usually when we're talking about not only coaching, but mentoring and all the other things, women tends to wants to talk to other women. And actually what's even more curious is that I don't think I've ever seen a man have a female mentor or female coach, which I kind of think is a bad thing, because men would definitely learn a lot from being coached by someone of an opposite gender. But of course, yeah, that doesn't happen. So what do you think? Is there a difference in being coached by a woman if you're a woman? Should you do that, or should you not discriminate based on gender and just find a coach that you feel comfortable with?
Well, I definitely think we shouldn't discriminate anyone based on gender or anything else. I mean, you need to find a person that you feel comfortable with, a person that you have a connection, because that's the most important thing. Like if you're not able to open up, or you feel ashamed, there is no. And it also grows. Like in the beginning, people, they just a little bit keep distance, and they are not willing to share. But at some point, like this distance is just becoming shorter. So yeah, it should be a person that you feel comfortable with. But if it's a man or a woman, I don't think I would care. But though, to be honest, I have more female clients than male. And male clients, they're mostly coming with for counseling, not coaching. Like if they have a goal, like they want to, achieve something in their business. I mean, maybe they have coaches and mentors, men coaches and mentors, but in my case, they only come into me for counseling. Like if you really want to deal with stress and analyze what's going on in your life or relationship. But yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, talking about stress
Maybe
and
men
burnout.
in general, sorry to interrupt you, but I'm just now thinking, maybe men in general, they just sometimes are too confident about themselves, and they think yeah, why would I need someone? I'm a big man, I'm able to solve my own problems. Boys don't cry.
Yeah, exactly. So I think there is this misconception about what coaching is. And even when, in my case, when I started coaching, I told a friend of mine, and I told some people in my family that I'm getting a coach, and of course they immediately thought that there is something going wrong. First of all, that's the first thought, and second of all, they automatically thought that it has something to do with my personal life. So I think there is this idea, if you say coaching, that it has to do with personal life, and it's not preventive, but it's already post factum, let's say, so to kind of figure out why things went wrong. But for me it was always clear that prevention is the key word, and I kind of like to listen to myself, and if my mind tells me, okay, not really feeling great, gotta take care of this now before everything goes badly. So that's why, of course, at some moment when things were not going the way that I wanted them to go in business, which, as you might imagine, having run most of my company startup during the pandemic, it cannot be smooth sailing. So of course there were times when you kind of feel like, oh my God, why is this happening? What am I going to do with this? I have this company, I have these people dependent on me, I cannot break down. So that's why I decided to to try coaching. But I had, of course, to explain to people that, hey, nothing bad has happened yet. It might. I want to make sure that it doesn't happen, right? That's why coaching. Yeah, I'm not broken, not yet. And second of all, that I had to say, now when I say that I have a coach, I always add the word business coach in front of it, because people automatically, like the stereotype, they automatically think that it has to do with family issues, which of course it can be used for as well, but not necessarily, right? So and of course, for those who are going to be listening, and they will probably find it out from the presentation that Olga is actually my coach. We've been together for, I don't even remember, a few months now, right? And the problem that I came to Olga with is exactly that. It's burnout prevention and making sure that I continue to enjoy my work being the CEO, which, like I said, when the going gets tough, you kind of want to run and hide, but and then you remember that you're a big girl and you have the whole company to run, so you're like, okay, cannot do this, gotta make sure that I go the direction that I need to go. So and do you think the attention that we all have towards mental health now, is it because like of the pandemic happening, or has it always, like, we've always had mental health issues, but no one wanted to talk about it? Were we ashamed to talk about these things, but now somehow it became not a shameful thing anymore? Because I'm noticing more and more attention towards it. Yeah, what's your feeling, because you are in that longer than me, of course?
Yeah, even LinkedIn made this mental health month. So apparently it became a big thing now. I think it just naturally happens. Like, there is some kind of taboo subject no one is talking about. Like, I think in our country, in Russia, it like never has been a case. Basically, you work till you die, and then, that's the only solution. And here in the Netherlands, for example, I heard a lot of people like having a burnout. And then I was thinking like, what is this? Like, come on, just do it better. And when I face it myself, I mean, like, you don't expect it to happen to you, because you don't know, like, it's very difficult to figure out, okay, today I don't have a burnout, tomorrow I do. And sometimes you just put too much on your shoulders, and there is nothing to be really ashamed about, like stress. I mean, if you have stress, it means that you are taking your life seriously, right? You want to achieve better, but sometimes we just don't cope with it very well. And I think there is nothing really wrong with seeking help in this regard, because, like, it's better to do it on time. And now I think people, just the awareness was raised and people understand this kind of things better. But in regards to coaching and to psychology, for example, I think there is a lot of this perception about that it's not really needed. And even my husband, I remember we had a talk like some time ago. He told me like, yeah, but why all my friends are normal and all your friends are seeking help of a psychologist or a coach? Yeah, well, define normal. I think now there is a new normality, that people actually care about themselves. And the funny thing is, now my husband, from his team, there are some people which are on the burnout, and then he's like, now, oh, what happened to him? Why he's on a burnout? How can I replace him? So, it happens if you can close your eyes or open them, but I mean, it still happens.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, recently I had a conversation with someone from LinkedIn, and that person was like wondering and asking if there's any business incubator accelerator that actually has the mental health section in their part of education. And I realized, looking back at all the incubators and everything where I've been, no, absolutely not. That is not something that is part of the curriculum, which is a weird thing, because after I started reading all the books written by CEOs of startups and then bigger companies, they all had a burnout. All of them, every single one of them, right? So big problem, right? If the head of the company becomes incapacitated because they are either depressed or burned out, whatever, it's a big problem. So how come when we're preparing entrepreneurs, no one is mentioning these things, right? So and then I realized that I need, as part of the female switch game, that I need to make it more clear that we're doing this, because mental health has been there from the very beginning of the game. Absolutely. We knew that was important, but we just didn't show it off exactly as we should have, which is what we're doing now. So that's part of the reason why I really wanted to record this this webinar, part of the mental health awareness, just to take that stigma away, right? From it's like physical health, we take care of it. So mental health is the same thing, right? We need to take care of it. And another parallel that I noticed with what you were saying and the game for future female entrepreneurs is, you said the word tools and you said the word journey. Basically, coaching helps take you from A to B, but you know where you need to go. And I realized that, hey, this is an approach that we're also using. And then it kind of looks like coaching would be a bit of learning by doing, which is the approach that we use, because you are there like their mirror, as you say. You're helping them, making sure that they don't go the wrong way, but they're still doing most of the work, right? So you just give them the right tools to do that. You think this is the best approach? Are people capable of doing it by themselves, or do they need more guidance maybe sometimes?
Well, I truly believe that people are capable to do everything that they want, actually. And the thing is about coaching, they're doing it themselves, but I also do a lot of work, but this work is more like on the background, it's about them, it's about people, but it's on the background. I have to facilitate it. So I have to structure them. I have to figure out like what, if I have to challenge their thoughts. Like if they're feeling stuck, I have to, help them to get out of this condition and to move forward. So like, I think it's a journey together. And the best thing is if the person by the end of it realizes that she or he did it themselves,